Hello, survivors. It's Fantastic Mr. Ghost, and we're going to go over electricity today. So strap in for an electrified tutorial. Ow. All right, that's enough screwing around. Let's get to it. So there's going to be two parts to this. I'm going to cover the basic electrical stuff with power, and then in another tutorial, I will cover the traps, connecting traps, handling traps for Horde base. Now, in mid to late game, you start to get the books for electricity to power traps, and it's a game changer when you're dealing with the zombies on your day 7 hordes. And everything is assumed that you are running normal settings. You're not increasing the zombie count, or anything like that. So, just adventurer, 7-day horde, 8 zombies. You don't change anything from the beginning settings at all. So normal play. In this case, I have everything that we're going to be going over. It's a lot of stuff. That's why this is going to be a two-parter. So I have power here and magazines, bundles, and then all the trap stuff here that I can think of. So let's start with a generator and the engines and gasoline. Now, down here, you'll notice that I have some number plates here, all the way up to 16. And I want to basically, let's get some, I'm going to get the electrical fence posts here. And I wanted to cover this first so that you can understand the limitations here. Now, we're going to put a generator bank here and plop. So we're gonna press E to interact with the generator. Now, generators are kind of later on. You can buy them from traders. So you can run different play styles and accelerate electricity if you're really good at min-maxing and RNG, because the game is based on random number generation, right? So you search through a case, it's going to generate whatever's in that case based on your loot stage and all this other stuff. So you may or may not be able to get your mower, all this stuff early on. So, let me showcase this. So the generator bank here can hold 6 engines. You get engines from cars. You can also find it in random loot. There are specific entities, like, for example, I think it's Working Stiffs, maybe Mo Electronics or Mo electronic stuff. You may be able to find these engines in cars and specific vehicles in stores. But the best place to get them is wrenching cars. Once you get a wrench, and that's the progression in the game. They're forcing you to think about, how do I do a horde base without electrical power at first? So let's talk about this GUI here. We've got the stats, and then there's some tool tips here that I'll basically go over as I run through this. Now we have max output 50 watts. Power is 0, so we have no draw on the system. Each engine, there's no quality system on the engines anymore. It used to be there was. So each engine, no matter what, will generate 50 watts. So if we put 2 in, that's 100, 150, so on and so forth. So a maximum of 300 watts on a generator. Then we refuel it, and you'll see when you mouse over the refuel, it tells you it's going to put a little blip in there. I like that they allow you to control how much fuel that you are putting in the generator. So it's 250, 750, 1000 for a full, a refill. So you have to have it in your inventory, the gasoline here. So that is all set up. And there's a turn on and refuel here. So if you just interact E, it'll pop right in. If you press and hold E, you have the ability to turn it on without going into the GUI, to opening the GUI. You also have an option to take. For all the electronic stuff and workbenches and whatnot, you have to have a land claim block. So if I press E on the land claim block, you'll see that we have some green here going all the way up into the sky there. So this is the protected area of the land claim block. And apparently you can have 3 active land claim blocks in a world for your player. Now, I was having some issues on my playthrough that I did where I would put a second land claim block down and it would disable the other one. And I don't know why that was happening. Maybe I was doing something wrong. So if you press E here again, it removes those green lines. Now, one thing that I want to showcase here is you'll see that the box around this electrical fence post here is green. So if we go outside of the range of the land claim block, it turns white. Now, from what I understand, the land claim block increases the strength of all the items within the area that it covers. So you want to have a land claim block for your horde base. And then also it allows you to, pick things up if you screw up a placement, like you move your mouse and it's like, oh crap, it went over in that spot. So, yeah, I want to have a land claim block. Now, let's talk about this wire tool here. The wire tool can be purchased from a trader and or found in the world. You can also make them in a workbench. Chances are you're going to find a wire tool in the world. Let's talk about the perks here. Now, from what I understand, I know this for sure, advanced engineering, putting a point into this here area, advanced engineering, you'll start to generate more books. And it's the Forge books, Forged Ahead, but I also think it's Electric Traps and Electricity 101. So let's go into this box here. And what I'm talking about are these 2 books here, Wiring 101 and Electrical Traps. I don't have the Forged Ahead here because that's not what I'm covering. And you can find these books in mailboxes and random loot. You can buy them from traders. And there's Mo Electronics, the trucks, like the service trucks that you see in the world. And like I said, mailboxes and they have those newspaper things, the dispensers. Always be checking those because you'll find them. And by putting points into advanced engineering, you're increasing your chance to find those in loot. Now, from what I understand, lockpicking also allows for the chances to go up. So in my opinion, you might as well put it in advanced engineering because these perks are really good. You get experience from the electrical traps once you get them set up. But your main goal is to try to get these books quickly so that you can set up your base. That way you're not getting, murdered on your horde nights. Now, I think that covers it. Like I said, I think now one thing that kind of annoys me is that they're not telling you here that, oh, this increases your chance to get the electrical books or the traps books. So if you mouse over these here, and even intellect here, it doesn't say anything about, oh, it increases your chance to get specific books. And so if we go advanced engineering, you can read this. It doesn't say anything about it, but it's kind of implied. Now, if you go into, like, say, for example, perception, Spearmaster, sharp sticks, it says find more spears and parts in loot. It doesn't say anything about books. So it's implied, or magazines, magazines and books. So it's implied that when you perk into something that you're going to get those books more frequently. So just bear that in mind, that if you're struggling in your playthroughs, like, man, I can't get these, where are these magazines? Where are these magazines at? Well, it's because you need to actually blow a perk on something that you may necessarily not want early on. So that being said, just be aware that you will need to perk into certain things like advanced engineering or lockpicking to get those books so you can carry on with, construction. All right, so now that I've got my wire tool here, and we'll look at the recipes. Let's look at the recipes really quick here. So here's your wire tool. Now, by the time you are able to make one, you'll find it. I'm not going to guarantee that, but I've never had to make a wire tool. Maybe one time because I lost it, I dropped it or something. or it got destroyed at a case in at a horde night, and I had it stored nearby or in the base. So it takes steel and mechanical parts. So you can see this is kind of late game. Steel is pretty tough to get. You need a crucible for that. And if you made a crucible, there's a lot of parts you need. So, but you can make them and or buy them, but chances are you're going to find it in the world. So the way you connect from, and the console players didn't have power up until 1.0 release now. So that's why I'm doing this tutorial, because folks are going to be getting into this. And I'm hoping to help the folks out that are on console now with this awesome 1.0 game. So what you want to do is on your mouse, I don't know about controller, I play on keyboard, mouse. So right click makes a connection. So then you got this wire draping along here. And to complete the connection, go to the, so I'm calling this the source. This is the destination. Right click, and now you have a wire, and it shows the current flow of the wire in yellow. So this means it's a powered connection. Now let's connect from the fence post here, electric fence post, to this one way over here. Now, I want you to look down where the wire spool is as I'm walking, and you'll see that it turned red. So there is a certain amount of distance that you can go with the wire. So if I back up just a tad, and it'll turn, there we go. Now it's black, see there? Okay, I can still reach this fence post here and right click. So that's what I wanted to showcase here, is the limitation of the wire. So you can, I'm counting this as square 1 here, and we can go all the way down, and this is 16. So if you eliminated the actual fence post, that's 2 locations, which would equate to, well, I think you have to count 0, maybe 0 through, because 0 to 17, it would be 17, minus 2 would be 15. So if you count this block before the fence post, it would be 15 blocks, not including where it's sitting. But I wanted to showcase that, yeah, this is block, let's say this is block 1 to 16. So take it however you will. That's the length of the wire, the max length. And the way you get that max length is by edging forward just enough to where you can make contact to that particular fence post or whatever you're connecting to. So just keep that in mind when you're wiring up certain situations. Now, there is a way around that wire length, and that's with these insulators right here. So let's put an insulator right here, and you can go 15 blocks. Let's just say 15, right? Not including the actual block it's sitting in. So go 15, put one of these insulators down, and you can daisy chain from one to the other and extend your reach. Now, bear in mind that I'm going to get my wire tool out because we get more information here. And you'll see that the electrical wire relay here consumes 1 watt of power. So if you have, 10 of these, it's 10 watts. You got to keep that in mind when you're designing your system. But for most cases, you're not really going to go too nuts with length. You're going to keep your electric pretty close. So just keep that in mind, that if you do, there is an instance though where you may want to run power from something, and that is the battery bank. The battery bank is loud and obnoxious. It's got a hum that'll just drive you nuts. And if you're doing a horde night with a battery bank right at your ear, you're going to be not happy. So for battery banks, which we'll get into in a second, you want to keep those far away from your ears. So you do want to run power from a distance from those, and I'll show you that. All right, so now we have a working system here. Let's go ahead and turn this on by switching the power. And you'll see that, well, let's mouse over this. Once the power is connected, you'll see a yellow now. The electric fences consume 5 watts, only when they're active. So we'll go all the way down to this one here, and it's yellow. So you know you have a good connection. So now we've covered the generator and the motors or engines here. Each engine has 50 watts. The max you can do is 300. Now, 300 is all you get. You cannot daisy chain generators to get 600, 900, 1200, and so on. What you have here is all you get with one wired connection. So let's get our wire tool out. I'm going to connect to this little thing here, or the electric wire relay. All right, I grabbed two hatches. One is not powered, and the other is. So what I wanted to do is showcase the powered hatch here, and you'll notice it's kind of, the wrong way here. I want it on the wall for demonstration, but I wanted to demonstrate this on face here. I also wanted to demonstrate the hinge. So let's go do that right there. So when you're placing these powered hatches, you want to make sure the hinge is, you want to make sure you know where the orientation is. So whoops, I punched it. Let's get our wire tool out. I'm going to connect from this wire relay to the powered hatch. Now, one thing about hatches, the non-powered hatches, and I'll put one right here as an example, you cannot pull these up. Once you place them, they're in. Now, I'm going to punch it, and you'll see it's 21,000 hit points. Now, the electric powered ones, you can pick it up. See how it says press E to pick up? Be very careful on Horde Night if you use these, because, you could pull this thing up, and then, you have to mess with it and put it back together. So let's turn on this generator here, and you'll see that it opens up. And we'll bring our wire tool up, and you'll see that it is consuming 5 watts. Now, I'm not too sure if it's consuming 5 watts all the time being open, or if it's just 5 watts. I was wanting to pick up. I want to close it, so we'll turn this off here. Okay, now I'll close it. Now, to disconnect power, what you want to do is left-click on the destination device. So you see that it disconnected it. Same thing here. Disconnect. Right-click creates a wire connection. Right-click terminates that and makes the connection there. Make sure the flow is right from source to destination. So there's left-click and it disconnects. Now, I wanted to grab a switch here. We'll showcase some switches. So the switch, let's pop that in. And we'll get to our wiring tool here. Now, the switch is kind of misleading in that it's got a little insulator connector there, whatever you want to call it. And a switch should have 2 connections. So you kind of have to, disable logic here if you're into electrical wiring and stuff. So right-click generator, right-click switch. Right-click again on the switch, right-click on your wire relay. So what I'm doing here is I'm wanting to control when I could power the generator up, but I want to control when things are on with the switch so that I can keep the generator on and just, turn the switch off and do whatever I need to do. Now I'm going to go from the electric wire relay to the hatch. And you'll see that we have a nice current flow here. So let's go over here, and I'm going to switch the switch on. Nothing happens. Let's turn the generator on. And you'll see now the switch is powered. It has a red LED indicator on it. If I turn the switch on with E, it turns green, and now we have power. Let's get our wire tool out, and you'll see we have power here, and power here. So this system with the switches consumes 7 watts. Press and hold E, open your generator bank, and you'll see it right here, power 7. Your max power is 300, so do not exceed that. If you do, nothing bad will happen. It's just things will not work. I don't know. I think it's at the end of the line or whatever, or it just picks one thing not to work. So if you have maximum, the blade traps is 15. So it's 300 watts. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And then there's 200 for 10 and 300 for 15. if you put a electric trap at the end of that for, let's say, 10 more watts or whatever, because it's going to be 5 and 5, something won't work. So you got to be mindful of your power draw, you know, your consumption there. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. So that's not, you know, on. Let's turn this off here, for, actually, because it's loud. All right, let's talk about some other things here. I don't have bulbs. Okay, let me get some bulbs here. And I wanted to showcase the amount of connections that can be made from one device to many. And what I'm going to do, oh, wait, let me, if you ever make a connection and you're like, oh, I didn't want to connect there, just back out and back in, and it'll disconnect there. Just word to the wise there. Let's turn this on. We'll turn our switch on. I want to demonstrate this here. So our wiring tool is out. Everything is on. We have yellow on our connector here, our wire relay. Right click to, oh, these don't work. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure what the heck these are here. So I got to get a different light here. Okay, I found it, I think. This is, let me mouse over it. This is a basic light bulb. Let me make sure that this connects from here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, notice the audible sound that you get when you connect when the power is on. So let me go ahead and connect. I'm going to do 9 or 10 of these to showcase the amount of connections we can do. And 10. There we go. Get our wiring tool out. So you'll notice that it has that noise and the power comes on. Now, let's turn the switch off. And the generator's on, so that's fine. And you'll notice it's just a click noise now. So you'll know if your power's on. Oh, you know what? I'm wiring in series. So let's go ahead and left click. Come on. There we go. Left click. Left click. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect from the wire relay to each individual bulb. All right, let's do it. Okay, that is the 9th connection, I think. So we've got, okay, we've got a connection from the switch, and I think, yeah, it's 1 connection here, 2 connections here. Let's get out of this thing. Oh, wait, let's leave it on. And we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if this counts here, but it definitely counts to this one. So if we take, let's go, let's left click on that one, and again, okay, yeah, let's click on that one. Okay, it disconnected from here. So let's go ahead and reconnect that. And we'll connect, right click to you. Okay, there we go. So it is 1, this is 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 connections. There's 9 connections. Let's left click on this. No, wait. Why are you not disconnecting? There we go. Finally got it. The wiring is really wonky at times. So let's reconnect this to here. And then we'll connect this one to here. And we'll switch this on so we have our lights. Now let's connect from here. Man, there was some lag there. Okay, so there we go. So maximum number of wired connections. All right, so let's go over here. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total that you can connect from your from any connection that allows for you know, branching. So let's get our connection tool, our wiring tool out, and you can connect from the lamp to this lamp. And now each one of these lamps here has 9 connections possible. So you can go from 1 to 9 and 1 to 9, which is crazy. So that's a nice little feature that they have here. I think we can reconnect this one here. Yep, there we go. Yep, there we go. It's that wire's hidden there. So we can turn that off and boom, there we go. So that's kind of the basic of wiring there. Now, I wanted to cover really briefly the battery bank here and the solar here. Let's speed this up and get it done. These are the books that I was talking about. I showcased this already. These are the bundles here. Now, the bundles are random in loot at very high stages of the game. So you'll be doing like tier 5 and 6 POIs with traders, and you'll get these things. There's also a Sense security camera bundle, as well as a dart trap bundle that you'll get in loot. But I'll be covering this stuff. Oh, I got the timer. I wanted to cover the timer here. Let's do that. I'll cover these in a second, but we'll open them up, I guess. So this is a timer. And what I'm going to do, I think I'll go... Yeah, let's just hook it up here. I don't really use these, but it could be helpful if you're doing a long play on a server and you want the lights on at night and off in the daytime. So you press E to interact and options. Now this is basically what this is a electrical wire relay, but it's timed. And they got a little box on there, which is kind of cool. So you open it up with options, and let's say it turns dark, you know, around maybe 1900 or so, maybe 1800. I wouldn't use these for your horde base because you want to be able to turn things on and off at will. So you want your switches inside your, you know, safe cage that you're going to be fighting from. And if there's a problem, you want to be able to turn off. Well, I got to turn off the blade traps to get through here. I got to turn off the electrical traps to go over here. I got to turn the door off, you know. So having a timer on your horde base is not really a good idea, in my opinion. And then we can have this to be like, say, 5 a.m., 5:30 or 5. So I would hook these up in like your crafting base, you know, the one you're going to be going in and out of a lot, you know. That way you got lights and everything's cool. All right, so yeah, rare instances where you'll be using that. Now let's go on this side here. Let's hook up a battery bank. All right, I'm going to rotate this around so the power is right here. And it's pretty cool. I like the graphics on it. Now, there is a quality system for batteries. I don't understand why they have it for batteries and solar, but not the motor or engines. I don't understand why they got rid of it, but they did. So level 1 battery generates 29 watts. And level 2 is 33. Level 3 is 37. Level 4 is 41. A 5 is 45. And if you can guess, by logic, 50 watts for a level 6. So if you have, you know, all level 6s, you're going to have 300 watts, just like a generator bank with motors or engines. Let's go ahead and put all these in just for the heck of it. Now, the bar on this battery here, it indicates the charge. So when you're finding these batteries in the world, you're going to notice that they're going to be having different bar levels. And what you need to do is, now you can hook up a generator bank with the engines to charge the batteries. There is absolutely no reason you need to do that. Don't waste gas to charge batteries. Just use the generators outright. When you get solar, hopefully in your playthrough later on, use solar with your battery banks. And it's a nicer time for your horde bases because then you don't have to worry about constantly filling up gasoline all the time and you know, running around and messing with that. Now you need to turn it on. And this is why I was saying you want this damn thing far enough away where you can't hear it. So what you can do is, you know, maybe come out far enough. And that's why I brought up the length of the wire in this here. And I was using the electric fence post for that because you do have the 15 meter restriction. So you can put your power, solar power, and battery banks out way out from your base and then wire to your horde base. So you don't have to hear this obnoxious humming for the whole horde time. You don't want that. So I'm going to turn this off really quick here. All right. Now let's talk about the solar power. Again, this is super late game. I'm going to plop it right. Well, let's put it right here. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll E to interact, just go right on into it. And if you can imagine that the quality is going to show lower for the level 1. So we got 17 watts there, 20 watts there on the level 2, 22, 25, 27, and finally 30. So 30 watts times 6 is 180 watts. But this is going to be on in the daytime, you know, longer periods of time. And this is what will charge your battery bank. So let's go ahead and put these all in here. And we have a total of 141, which is fine for the demonstration here. Now, what I'm going to do here is I connect the battery bank to the switch. And you'll see that it disconnected the generator bank from the switch. So this is why I was saying you really can't, you know, daisy chain power. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And we'll go here. We'll go over to this sucker. And we're going to open it so I could showcase this. And you'll see that we have 57 watts being consumed by the battery bank here. Or it's being drawn. Now, like I said, you're going to see this purple bar go down. What it does is I think it works through the batteries from left to right. And then it might shift down to the level 3 battery and go 3, 2, 1. And my assumption is that the bars, there's more power. It's, you know, obviously, well, actually, yeah, I think you can equate that there is more power in a level 6 stored than a level 1 because of the amount of power in this thing. You know, it's lower than the 6. Now, that's going to draw power, you know, basically deplete the battery down. So I'm going to let this, the lighting run here, and I could hook up some blade traps to really knacker the power on this thing. So, but yeah, you'll start to see now, see how it's a little bit down now. And I think I don't have any blade traps in here. I'm going to hook up a blade trap at the end here. I'm going to pull this thing up. And that way, oh wait, grab, there we go. Press and hold E, and it'll have a little timer. And it pops up. So that's if you have the land claim block. Now I could take this light bulb right here and right click and then just right click on these. You want to wire these up in parallel, but you can do series. And the reason I say don't do series is because if this trap gets killed off, this one will, even though it's working, won't run anymore. So wire your traps up in parallel. Now you'll see that we have 117 watts being drawn from this battery bank here. And the bar is going down considerably. Okay, it takes a long time to deplete a level 6 battery, as you can see. I've been letting this run for about a minute or so. But it has degraded. Now, let's go ahead and turn the switch off. And all that is off now. And I'm going to turn this off briefly because it's so loud. Let's get our wiring tool out. Right click on the solar bank and right click on the battery bank. And you'll see that the connection is still being made to our switch over here, which is what we want. Now we come over to our solar bank, press and hold E, and open. So we have max output 141 watts, turn on. And it goes, pretty cool. Now the condition, you know, obviously is mainly related to how much power you're going to get. There is no degrading of the solar panels that are installed. Now, the other thing you need to do, in order to charge these batteries up, we open, you know, or we could just power it up from the GUI there, from press and hold E power. But I want to turn it on from here. And you have, from what I understand, you have to have the battery bank on in order to charge the batteries. So just leave your solar bank and your battery bank on all the time. And then when Horde Night hits, you know, you just have your switch here, turn it on, and you're good to go. So this is late game stuff here, because like I said, you're not going to get these things, and they're very expensive too to buy. But yeah, you're not going to get those till way late. Now let me turn this obnoxious thing off here. Last thing I want to go over here is the bundles, just to showcase that, you know, it is a random thing here. So this is a generator bank bundle. I've never gotten one in the game, and you'll see that they give you a generator bank and engine, some books here. I'll get rid of those. A wiring tool, and they probably gave a little gasoline. I think I hit, yeah. It looks like they gave me like 2,000 gas. So that's what you get with those. Here is the battery bank, and we get a battery bank, 2 batteries, books, wiring tool, and basic lights. There we go. Oh, and then also you get, for some reason, pressure plates. Don't ask me why. I think because they're like, oh, I'm home, so the pressure plate kicks on and the lights turn on. I don't know. I don't understand the pressure plates, but hey, you get them. Looks like I got a generator with this too. Really weird. And now we have the solar bank bundle here. Same thing. We get a wiring 101. We have the solar bank here, of course. We probably got some connectors as well, but they pop down here, you know. Wiring tool, and then 3 panels in this case. Now, from what I understand, this is all random here, so I'm just going to chuck it all out because it's fun. Oh, and we probably got a switch, and maybe no, we didn't get a timer. Let's see, I had 499. Oh yeah, we didn't get any timers, and I think that's about it. So yeah, I mean, it's fun to get those. What I experienced is I did some tier 5s and 6 POIs. And at the end, you may get those bundles, but the trader does provide the bundles at the completion of a tier 5 or 6. I can't remember. But yeah, you have to get all these points. So if you go tab and over here, quests, you'll see that it's 0 of 10. I haven't done any quests in this. This is just a, you know, creative mode thing. But if you get, I think it's 240 or whatever. So you have to go, is it 10... for rect, you know, usually you're working with rect in the beginning, and then it's 25 or whatever, and you can continue working with rect to get those points. You get a bicycle, a motorbike bundle, or mini bike bundle, then a motorcycle, 4x4 gyrocopter. Then they start giving you solar, and that's pretty cool. But you know, like I said, you can buy the solar from traders early on. You know, if you get your dukes under control and you got your swimming in dukes, you know, go ahead and buy yourself some solar panels or whatever. It's kind of fun. Now, you can't make solar. So if you go into here, you know, you can't make them. So the only thing you can do is make the battery bank. And you're looking at forged iron, electrical parts, and scrap polymers. But you need to have the discipline in order to do that. Now, let's take a look at this really quick here before I forget. Under crafting skills. Now, I read all these books already, so... we have electrician, and if we click on this here, it doesn't tell us, once you read all the books, it doesn't tell you when you unlock them. It'd be nice, because I'd like to know when I unlock these, you know, for future playthroughs. But I think it's at like 50 books or something, or 25 books. I want to say 25 magazines they're called. You start to unlock all this stuff here, I think, under here. The sensors come a little later. Then there's tier 1. It says tier 3 batteries, which is kind of weird, because tier 1, 2, 3, I think they unlock pretty quick, at one after the other. Then there's, you know, the 4, 5, 6. And then you unlock, for some reason they have power. So they give you batteries, which is nice, because you need those for vehicles. But like I said, if you rent cars, you're going to find batteries all over the place. Then the powered doors, but it's actually the battery bank and everything, all the doors and stuff. So if you're doing a PvP server, and you know, this stuff obviously makes sense to, you know, set up. You know, you don't want just anybody coming in your base, you know. And then here's the traps. And again, I read all the books so that I could, you know, showcase all the stuff here. So you get the electrical trap, the dart trap, and the blade trap. I think it's at 25 magazines that you have to read. And then you get the shotgun auto turret and the SMG auto turret. And I'll be covering those in a traps tutorial because there's just way too much to cover for the electricity. You don't need to connect your generator. I mean, you could connect your generator bank to your battery bank to charge batteries off-site, and then bring the batteries to your horde base so you can save time on charging. You know, that's one. I mean, I think that would be one application I can think of. But when it comes to charging the using a generator bank with the batteries, yeah, that's probably the only thing you'd want to do, because they're not fully charged when you find them in the world. Like, you rent a car and you get a tier 3 battery, it's going to be halfway or a quarter way or whatever. So yeah, you could use your generator bank, charge the batteries, and then if you're expanding your horde base, they're already in charge, you know? So yeah, I guess that would be an option. All right, well, that does it for this tutorial. At least, you know how to hook up power, and you can get some basic lighting in your base if you find these. If you get the traps, we'll cover those in the next episode or next tutorial here. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Get to wiring up your stuff and get some lighting in your base so you can see at night. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.